I've got a lot of tech pouches. Every shape, size, organization, style, simple, complex, smooth, rough, every material that you could imagine. I've got everything, at least I wouldn't say everything. This is not an exhaustive list of different tech pouches, but I use them for various reasons, travel around the house, you name it. They're all holding various things from power solutions to camera equipment, knickknacks, whatever you wanted to call it, but they just generally serve the purpose of moving things from point A to point B. Now they're always inside a backpack, so the material choice in terms of weather resistance always isn't critical, but today I'm going to talk about a general overview of tech pouches. Then I'm going to talk about my favorites, and then we're going to put some stuff in them to see how they pack out volume-wise. This is a question that I get quite often, is how do these things pack out? So we're going to pack out not all of them, because that would take a really long time and a longer video than you probably want to watch. So we're going to focus on my favorites, then mostly in the middle, medium size. So let's get to it. Before we get into the packing of the tech pouches, let's talk about a few things. Generally speaking, sizes. So small, medium, large is all that we're going to get into. We're going to focus on the medium category, anything around a 2-liter-ish size. So the CAP2 from Evergoods being sort of in the middle of that size category. But on the small side of things, there's some small shadow pockets from GORUCK. They've got their Echo Field pockets. There's wire dops from GORUCK as well. There's some little things from Topo Designs and the James brand. There's the CAP2L from Evergoods. So those are on the small side of things. There's also lost in this stack somewhere is my garage build gear, also very cool. But on the larger side of things is the larger GORUCK field pockets. This is the biggest size, their GR2 size. They also, in the shadow pocket category, make several different sizes. So I'm not going to dive into the small or the big. We're going to focus on the heart of the envelope. This is the medium size, and that's what we're going to use to pack out. Style-wise, and you'll see when we get into the heart of it, there's really kind of two different styles. There's the, I would say, clamshell. Think about this more like your GORUCK bags, where they just open completely all the way up so you can see everything inside. We'll see several examples of that. The most obvious one being the field pocket that just opens up, boom, clamshell. Now you can see everything that's inside. Otherwise, we've got an accordion style like this Alpaka, which, you know, opens up, but it doesn't open up all the way, but it does reveal everything inside like an accordion. So we're going to dive into those more as we compare these side by side, but those are just generally speaking the two sizes. There's a accordion style or the clamshell, and I'll put other ones that are more diagonal, as we'll see in the examples, still in that clamshell design, because they still open up to reveal everything inside. Also in this style, between the clamshell and the accordion, we've got simple and complex. If you go into something like a GORUCK shadow pocket, these have no pockets inside, no zipper compartments, no organization whatsoever. It's basically a small packing cube. There's really nothing inside there. There's a handle on it, and that's the only thing that makes this anything more complex than just a sewn around bag. Nice little zippers, high quality, but again, nothing on the inside comparison to a field pocket, which is a little more robust, a little more padded, still's got a handle, but inside's got a lot of organization inside, which I've posted a video about the field pockets before. But one consideration when you're picking a tech pouch. Material builds, just like everything in the backpack arena, you just have every sort of combination from an X50 X-Pack to just regular X-Pack to 1000D to just a nylon case. So really, just like backpacks, you have every combination, regular zippers, AquaGuard zippers, you name it. I'm not so hung up about AquaGuard zippers or the general build of it. I think that's just a feel thing, how you like to manipulate these things, because you are going to handle these more as you're moving in and out of the bag, taking stuff in and out of them. But the AquaGuard zippers and waterproofness just isn't that big of a deal, because they're going to be in a backpack most of the time. That could be an exception for some of these field pockets because they've got webbing attachments, so you can attach these to other bags, whether it's a triple lot design or a GORUCK bag, whatever you wanted. You can put these things on the outside, so maybe there you do care about AquaGuard zippers. This is the Kaiden edition of the field pocket, but otherwise I just don't generally think about it too much because for me, 99% of the time, these are inside a backpack, on the go, on the move. All right, so that's just an overview. Let's talk about the medium-sized. So most of this video is going to be focused right here, medium category, 2 liter-ish. They're all about 9 inches by 6 inches by 4 inches. Give or take a few inches, give or take a few ounces here and there. All weigh about the same. Different material builds, like I said, from X50, 1000D, X-Pack, just regular nylon, you name it. We've got the range of those materials in this example field, but really it comes down to how they're organized, what you can put inside. And so for that, again, you could pack these out in whatever way, in maybe different ways in one trip. You could have one that's just power solutions, power cords, bricks, power banks. You could have another one with camera gear, just mobile camera gear. You could have your DLSR or your full-size camera in there, and just general accessories, whatever you want. You could even use these as a dop kit. In fact, I use a field pocket GR1 size as my dop kit anywhere around the world. It just holds everything that I need for a guy to carry as just, you know, the essentials. But today we're going to take not all those different options and pack them out. We're going to focus on this right here. In front of me is what I recently took on a trip to Ecuador. I just had just a regular mobile camera setup. I don't take the full-size camera with me on the road because I just really like the quality that you get out of the GoPro, and this is the GoPro 11 in the medium mod. I just really get good audio and good video quality out of this thing. Also carry the Insta360 X3, recent one released. I love that thing for the perspective it gives you. Some just general peripheral stuff that I carry, including the little Insta360 bullet attachment that rotates, but it acts as a tripod. Another GoPro tripod and extension selfie stick. I also carry the other selfie stick that the Insta360 has, the standard one, but it doesn't fit any of these, so that's the only thing that's not included in the tech pouch when I go. Otherwise, all this stuff fits. Now today we're going to go through and just pack that out, generally speaking, and all these things to see how that works out. We have the GORUCK Field Pocket GR1 size. We have the Nomatic in Peter McKinnon Camera Tech Organizer. We've got the Step22 Tenkile. I'm not really ever sure how to say that, but that's one of my favorites. We've got the Peak Design Tech Organizer. We've got a Dan Matsuda, probably the best made of all these, and custom, very awesome. And then we've got an Alpaka Tech Organizer, and we have the Evergoods CAP2. This is the Carryology and Evergoods collaboration version, the Phoenix edition, so bright orange inside. We'll see that in a little bit, one of my favorites. But anyway, we're going to take you through this group of 7 with this gear, and then we're going to talk about my top 3 out of this category. So let's get to the pack outs. We'll just work from this side to that side, work our way down the list. But first up is the GORUCK Field Pocket, and inside the organization is pretty simple: lace flat clamshell, one zipper pocket, actually 2 zipper pockets, and an elastic pocket. So big open spaces, lots of room for little things, and really the way things lay out, it's pretty straightforward. Lots of room. You can put pockets for days for all these little things here and there. Bigger items probably along the end, and then we can put some of the other peripherals in here. So there you go. Again, 2 liters is going to fit almost all this stuff every time, and so this fits perfectly. And what I love about this design, the field pocket, is just boom, you kind of go to work, you can see everything in one spot. And it does fit plenty of things from my DJI mic, the Insta360, and the GoPro. Everything fits flat, and some other stuff, and so boom, that's nice, ruggedized. Carry it, attach it to something, cool. And I have been known to carry these field pockets on the inside of the GORUCK bags because they lash right into the top and you can just access. It keeps everything elevated. Now it's harder to take in and out, but that's just one plus for the field pocket, the fact that you can do that. All right, that's the field pocket. Let's move on to the Step22 and pack it out. All right, there it is. That's the Step 22. What I love about this one, just really its dimensions. It's pretty square. It does fit probably in all these the biggest. And so there's some times where it doesn't fit perfectly in my backpack, carry-on, whatever it is, because it's just a little bit bigger. But with that adds some capacity. So it's on the bigger end, I would say, volume-wise. The cool thing, couple things. First, you've got attachment points on the back. You could put this into the back of a GORUCK bag where you need to get some clips or something. But again, that's just one little thing. You could use this to attach things on the go. That's also really nice. You have some externally accessible pockets. And this one here just gives you access to this interior pocket, which is cool because then you don't have to open the whole thing. The only other bag that has that is the Evergoods, which we'll get to eventually. But you can see that that's a good little feature, quick on the go. Maybe you get your camera out, you're on the go. Or you need to get something small, get it out of this little pocket, and now you're great. That also acts as a little flap on there, acts as a little zipper garage, so you can keep that out of the way if you don't access things that way. Otherwise, the other cool thing, and this is the clamshell design. It's kind of a clamshell-ish, just because when you open it up, it's not traditional open all the way clamshell, it's basically fold out. So what's really cool about this is when it's open like this, you can kind of work out of it, and there's tons of organization inside, way more than a lot of these. So you have in this front area another little zippered pocket that you can put stuff in there to work out of. It also comes with this little tool. I think it's a phone stand, but I've never used that for that. But anyway, you also in the front flap area have an area for SD cards. So if you're going to carry your SD card extra ones, you can put them in there. And they've got this little Velcro thing. You can flip it around to give you an indication which one's been used or not used. Again, this little pocket on the inside is what you can access from the outside. So you can still access it on the inside. You can get all your little tiny things, keep them in there, and then access it when you're on the go. Otherwise, and this little bullet accessory just kind of wedged itself in there, fit just fine, no problem. And what's also cool is they've got this little ingenious little organization system with these Velcro flaps. You can keep them together and keep things segmented, or you can just totally take that out of the way and fit a bigger camera body in there if that's the way you want to roll. But in this case, I've got everything segmented. I've got the Insta360, the DJI mic, the other little tripod, and the GoPro with its media mod. So everything fits in there, tons of room, and again, totally protected. Again, it's just on the bigger side, but it does have a ton of organization and just the ability to kind of work out of this on the go. Very, very high. Definitely one of my favorites. Now, that's the Step 22. Let's move on to an accordion style. This is the Peak design. All right, so there you go. Peak design. And there's some advantages and disadvantages to this. First of all, the volume fits out very nicely. Although, you sit there, it looks like it's not very much, but then when you pack it out, boom, there's a lot more room in there than you think. Some nice little handles on there, some attachment points if you wanted to clip this inside of a bag to keep it elevated, so that would be a definite plus. There's nice little Halplon things. You could maybe put pens and pencils through there. Nice little handles everywhere you go. Very cool. Every side it's got a handle covered, so you can really kind of tie this down however you want it to. Now, it is accordion style with one exterior pocket. Looks like AquaGuard zippers everywhere, and this pocket doesn't go on the inside, so that's just one thing to consider. You're not going to be able to access it both ways. That's fine, but just so I put all my batteries on the outside because that's what I'm going to really need if I'm out there recording something. Boom, need a new battery, go right to that exterior pocket. So that's how I would use this and how I have used it. Now, this other thing to think about is, again, accordion style. So once you unzip it, you kind of look at everything here, but it doesn't fold all the way open. That's just one small consideration. Very well made, just like all these, but the accordion advantage is it opens up to reveal how everything is segmented. It doesn't just kind of fall open like maybe the GORUCK one does. There's interior zip pockets, lots of places to hide little things, lots of nice little organization on both outside areas, little stash pockets for all sorts of stuff. Very cool. There's even a little area up top to put an Apple Pencil or other pencil, pen, and the inside, very cool. And so you can really stash all your little things in the place that you want it to be and keep it there. This interior area, again, it's segmented for 5 different areas for different things. For me, with those 3 items that I carry, the microphone, the DJI, or the microphone, the X3, and the GoPro, all fit in there perfectly with enough room to put this bigger stand, tripod, bullet accessory on the bottom that fits just fine with everything I need. So again, still plenty of room in there. So like the Step22 and this Peak Design just really still have plenty of room for that kit that I had with me. So all right, that's the Peak Design. Let's move on to one of the priciest on the list, and it's definitely one of the coolest, the Dan Matsuda Article. And so let's pack that out. All right, so there's the Dan Matsuda Article, and it is definitely one of the coolest looking of the bunch. Could put a patch on there. This one's got the laser cut background red in the back, so that's pretty cool. I like that. The variability in all these are very cool. They're all very unique and handmade, so it's pretty cool. Other abilities to either carry this as a sling with some attachments, or put bigger, bulkier items in there, maybe your camera case, and just different areas. So you're not going to go wrong if you ever get your hands on a Dan Matsuda Article. However, in this mode, I think the organization, and it's more, I would say, accordion style because it doesn't fully open. It's got these little webbing, there's webbing on it, and there's different articles that have different layouts. This one happens to have the Alpaka pouch and some organization on one side. So it all fits. I wouldn't say it fits as good as some of the other things. So you might have to make a decision with this tripod as you go forward. And again, things just kind of fit in there. I could jam them in a little bit different ways. This little Alpaka pouch, which is removable, has different ways to put things in there. And again, it's very nice, very cool. But you can't go wrong with the style, the quality. But for me, I think some of these others work a little better to carry at least this specific kit. So that's the Dan Matsuda. Again, one of my favorites, best looking, but for me the organization is a little lacking compared to some of these other entrants. So let's keep in the accordion lane. Let's go to an Alpaka. This is the Alpaka tech pouch. Let's pack it out. All right, so this is the Alpaka, completely packed out with the same stuff. And in this special edition of this tech pouch, it includes Alpaka and X50 in multicam black, one of the best colors ever. And again, it all fits. It's got attachment points here. You could attach this or use the attached sling to kind of sling this thing around. But in tech pouch mode, it fits everything that we talked about. Again, accordion style with a nice front pocket, and this front pocket again would be my battery pocket just because of one of those things, quick access. But as we move into the, again, accordion style, boom, it opens up and it reveals everything lined up, and it's very easy to see where things go. The advantage is it does keep things organized. The disadvantage is, it doesn't really work well for bigger cameras. And in this mode, you're pretty much, this is the stuff, the 3 things, the GoPro, the 360, and the DJI mic just really kind of dominates the volume. So you really can't put a lot of bigger things in there. There is pockets for organization, place to put a pen or pencil, and some zippered pouches in here. So you really have a lot of ways to hide. And of course, I've been just dumping these smaller items in the interest of time, but I wouldn't necessarily work that way. I would keep things organized. I would have a place for all the things as we would go forward, and that's how I do that in other pouches. But a lot of good stuff, accordion style, high visibility orange on the inside, easy to see, and a good size. That's the Alpaka X50 tech pouch. Moving on, let's get to 2 different ones. Let's start off with the Evergoods. All right, so the Evergoods CAP2, this one's the Carryology Collaboration Phoenix Edition, really cool. The patch didn't come with this one, this came with the Phoenix. I sold the Phoenix, but I kept the patch. Now this is, again, one of my favorites because the size ends up being pretty perfect, It's a little bit longer and a little bit narrower to compare to the Step 22. So the dimensions wise, this tends to fit in bags better for me personally a lot more often than the Step 22, but I do like having them both. They serve different purposes for me on a day-to-day basis. Now this one, again, you can actually get, you can't get this one right now, but you can get the regular edition of the CAP2 on the Evergoods website. Links for all these in the descriptions. But again, nice little handle. This one's X-Pack. The regular one is not. Handle top or bottom. No way to attach it on the back. Now this has the same sort of advantage that the Step 22 did with this access pocket here, which gets into the compartment on the inside, which we'll get to. Now this whole thing opens up sort of, you know, diagonally, but you get access to everything that's in this top pocket from this top zipper, so you don't have to open up the whole thing and dive into it. You can just go right for it from this top pocket, which is bueno, very cool. Now again, the cool thing about this one, just like the Step 22, although slightly different, is the fact that when you open it, boom, you can go right to work. Forgot to zip it, but you just get this nice little access area. So if you're going to have sort of everyday carry, office stuff, peripherals, you can kind of work and have everything right here because it just opens up and it reveals everything in a very nice and organized way. You can see everything, especially with this bright orange, but the nice gray interior of their standard editions is also very easy to see all your stuff that's on the inside. Now this top pocket, like we said, we can access from here, we can access from out from the inside. And again, that's where the bigger for me items comes into play, like the bigger tripod stuff. It also has a key ring in there, so if you want to put your keys, use it for everyday carry, that would be one way to do it. And for me, the cameras just lay themselves out very nicely, stay organized and not moving around. There's an additional space for you to put other stuff. In fact, you could just put more tripod gear up in the front if you wanted to. So this one really is a great size. Put the batteries in this front little area, and it's got a zipper area in the middle. So man, it's just so well laid out, very thoughtful, very awesome. One of my favorites totally ever is this CAP2 for a lot of different reasons, and for me ends up being the action camera carrying case in most cases. So see what I did there? Cases. Now let's take the favorite and go to one of the newest ones I got. So Nomatic. Now this one is one of my favorites, and we'll get to my top 3 here in a minute. But the cool thing is it fits a little bit smaller than some of the others. So if you want to go more compact, this fits on the smaller end, and it does fit my essentials. So what I recently took on a trip was this Nomatic Peter McKinnon Camera Tech organizer, because it perfectly fit everything I wanted. Now what it doesn't fit, and this is the volume difference between all of those and this one, is I could not fit the DJI mic also in here. Not a big deal. I didn't need the microphone with me, and if I did, I would just probably throw it in there somewhere. So that's the negative. This one doesn't fit. So if I needed to take everything and this, I'd probably pack it in the Evergoods. But right now, this organization-wise, for me, is really cool and definitely in the top contenders. And I've got a nice little handle on the side, just one little handle if you're going to carry it around. Nice little loop on the back, so if you're going to put that somewhere, definitely fits nicely. On the back of the seat in an airplane, I think is what the original design. It's got this nice little feel to it, sort of a matte dark gray or black with the aqua guard that blends just right in there. It doesn't stand out like some of the others. One zipper on the front, and then boom, it reveals itself with some features that aren't anywhere else. So it's clamshell, has 2 very see-through, very nice high quality areas where you can see what you put in there so you don't lose stuff. 2 pockets in there. Has this flap, which is at times awkward. It does, and it's the perfect spot for you to put your batteries, which you can do, and I have done, so that's probably a great idea to put stuff in there. And it does fit the Insta360 battery in the case and the GoPro batteries, and it still fit all perfectly, just so you always know where they are. But for me, I just usually put them in that one spot, and that spot just doesn't make up the difference. But just different ways you can organize this. But it also fits the tripod accessory stuff, the on-the-go stuff, the essentials that I need, and the 2 cameras. And it has these organizers in here, so if you wanted to pack this thing out differently, you can just go nuts and move that stuff around. I like that brown on the inside. I do love the fit of this one. I love the materials. I do like the build. It's just, like I said, its only negative for me is the fact that it fits a little bit smaller, because I can't take the DJI mic in this. So if I got a bring this with just what I have in there. I've got to step up, not to the Step22, but to the Evergoods in this case. So that's just a consideration when it comes to volume. So that's the walkthrough. Let's talk about my top 3. So my top 3 in this category, and you know, probably not too much of a surprise, maybe one of them on here, but number 3 on my list would be just the Field Pocket from GORUCK, and this is the GR1 size. The reason it's in the top 3 is because just the versatility of it. I can use this for just about anything. Like I said, I use it for DOP kit, I'll use it for camera equipment. I'll actually use this one normally holds my remote for my drone, so it fits that. So it's just, you can really do anything with these. The fact that I can lash this inside of any of my GORUCK bags or on the front of it if I really needed to. You can use it for a first aid kit. I mean, just the possibilities are endless for the Field Pocket. So that is definitely in my top 3. The other 2, and again, it comes down to what exactly I'm taking. The Evergoods CAP2, and you don't have to get the Phoenix edition. The regular one is just fine. In fact, they have that one in different colors. So if you don't like black, you can get those in different colors. But the Evergoods one, just really super versatile in the way it packs out. The Nomatic and Peter McKinnon Camera Tech Organizer, I think for me, is if I'm just gonna go down essentials and I don't want to take any extra stuff, this one ends up being perfect. And this is the one that's been on the last 2 trips with me, just because I didn't need to necessarily record audio, because a lot of times the audio out of those cameras that I have is just good enough. But if you wanted to step it up, I needed to bring the audio equipment, and so I'd have to go up to the Evergoods. No big deal. So those are the 2 favorites. Top, I'm not even gonna say 1 or 2. These are the top 2 in my category, just because they tend to organize all my stuff perfectly. Nothing wrong with the others that I have already talked about. They're all awesome. And just, if I had to pick top 2, this would be the top 2, and the GORUCK Field Pocket would be number 3. That's how I figured it out. So there you go. That's the Tech Pouch Palooza. That's everything I have. The best of the medium category. Talked about sizes, utility, designs, all those things to give you what I think of these bags. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. It definitely helps other people see these videos. I do a range of videos, from backpacks to wearables to cameras, and then now into tech pouches. So if you want to see more videos just like this in that lane of things to get you outside, subscribe, sign up for alerts so you don't miss the future videos. And in the meantime, if you're wondering where I am, it's outside. So let's go.